first, tracking Earl. Right now, the powerful Category 4 hurricane is churning in the Atlantic. A massive storm could brush the East Coast after battering the Caribbean, and it could possibly clip New England. From the Carolinas to Maine, everyone is keeping a close eye on Earl.
Including emergency management officials here in Rhode Island right now. We're helping you to prepare, but don't panic. Eyewitness News reporter Sean Daly live in Cranston with the latest on what's being done in our state. Sean.
5 months after epic flooding hit Rhode Island, Patrick and Elizabeth, there's now word of a possible hurricane. Hurricane Earl could hit the New England coast later this week. And here at the headquarters of the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, the word is Rhode Island is ready. Hurricane Earl is still many miles away, but footage like this reminds us of a hurricane's powerful possibilities. Here in Rhode Island, the state's blood center is urging people to continue donating blood because it will shut down its operations on the Labor Day holiday and possibly due to Earl also. Emergency management officials also are asking Rhode Islanders to focus on the news coverage about the storm and to get ready.
You know, lawn furniture and those types of things that could easily become a projectile during a storm. And so people need to take the precautions starting now to start to store that. Identify those important papers, things such as wills and insurance policies. Get your prescriptions filled. Make sure that you have your pets taken care of.
In a favorable twist of fate, the feeling here is that thanks to the fresh experience of last spring's devastating floods, Rhode Island is ready, not just practically, but psychologically.
You know, one of the things that happens, unfortunately, and it's just human nature, when you don't have disasters in your backyard, you become somewhat desensitized to see it on TV. There's certainly sympathy when you see it happening in Katrina and in other parts of the country. But because we have been significantly impacted by the flood, we are no longer complacent.
To put that another way, emergency management officials believe their most important challenge is to get people's attention. Now, after the floods of the spring, they're confident that Rhode Island is ready for Earl and beyond. Live at EMA headquarters in Cranston with the West Bay Mobile Newsroom, Sean Daly, Eyewitness News.
All right, we have pinpoint weather team coverage on Hurricane Earl and his path. Eyewitness News meteorologist Michelle Muscatello has been tracking Earl all week. Michelle, what's the latest?
Well, we're still talking about a powerful Category 4 hurricane. Winds haven't changed much from this morning. They're still at around 135 miles an hour, gusts to about 160. This storm system is brushing by the Dominican this afternoon, and from there should stay east of the Bahamas and Florida. Although the National Hurricane Center, just in their latest update, just sent out, does have and is starting to mention issuing some hurricane watches for parts of the mid-Atlantic coastline. Most likely to first see those watches would be places like North Carolina and coastal Virginia. And a watch simply means that there is the potential for hurricane conditions within the next 24 to 36 hours. We're still a couple of days away from any rain and wind from the storm system, but our conditions in our ocean waters will start to deteriorate later tomorrow and into the day on Thursday as well. But this is the latest information on Earl. I'm going to talk much more about the storm's track coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Michelle, thanks. Now, as Michelle just said, Earl right now is a dangerous Category 4. And as this storm heads up toward the U.S., concern is growing. Even a glancing blow could cause some major problems. Eyewitness News reporter Michael Harzenberg is tracking Earl from Belmar, New Jersey.
Elizabeth, people up and down the Jersey coast worry that Earl could wash out the last big summer weekend. But down south, they're worried the storm could be destructive. People on North Carolina's Outer Banks are watching very closely as Hurricane Earl barrels toward the U.S.
If it's going to come this way, you know, and I think it's landfall, yeah, we'll leave. We'll leave.
Forecasters expect the Category 4 storm to brush the Carolinas as it turns north off the East Coast. But they caution even a slight shift in course could spell disaster. Earl's winds are topping 135 miles per hour.
We're trying to button things up, you know, get the storm shutters up, get anything that's out and about that might get airborne. We call them missile hazards.
Even if Earl does stay offshore, the storm system is massive, with tropical storm winds extending 200 miles from the eye.
it's going to be a close call for parts of the Northeast, particularly the Cape. I think either way, there's a decent chance that some areas might get grazed with tropical storm conditions.
Downpours, strong winds, and rough seas are on tap for the Jersey Shore, but business owners say they'll be open this Labor Day weekend, rain or shine.
The hurricane itself, if it's going to bring, additional rains, you hate to lose the last weekend.
Earl has already left its mark on the Caribbean. Heavy rains and powerful winds caused flooding, damaged homes, and knocked out power to thousands on Antigua, St. Martin, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And while it is too soon to predict how bad Earl will hit the U.S., officials say residents from North Carolina to Maine should be ready. For now, here the surf along the Jersey Shore is quiet, but it could be the calm before the storm. Michael Herzenberg in Belmar, New Jersey, Eyewitness News.
Count on Eyewitness News for in-depth coverage as we continue tracking Hurricane Earl. Right now on WPRI.com, we've got our interactive hurricane tracker, the very latest updates from the live Pinpoint Doppler 12 weather team on Earl's projected path, and vital information on how to prepare for a storm.